This is awkward occurrence with awkward entertainment. So I'm going to be getting into the Lori Daybell Chad Daybell case. I was looking for updates in this case, and I came across an interesting headline. Interesting headline. So in this headline, it stated Chad Daybell thought he was the adult version of Harry Potter. Yes, Mr. Daybell was so out of his mind. He's still out of his mind. In this story, in this movie, Mr. Daybell is so out of his mind. He thought he could get on a broomstick and fly across the moon. At least that's what witches are pictured doing on TV. But let's get into this video. I am going to read a few paragraphs from an article about Mr. Daybell and his belief that he's Harry Potter. So we're going to start off. By listening to Melanie Gibbs talk to detectives about Lori Vallow's energy work. And let's get this started. So in Melanie Gibbs' interview with detectives, she described her adventures with Lori Vallow when they would do energy work. Now, I don't remember the entire interview, but let me make this connection. They used witchcraft. They thought they were gods. They thought they had some power. They could draw spirits out of people. They believed people had evil spirits in them. They can draw them out by chanting, using crystals, lighting candles. They hallucinated at times. They felt these beings. These beings are nothing but demons. They felt these demons come through their body. They feel vibrations in their body. They felt these demons go throughout their body when they begin their energy work. So that's how that goes. That's just short and simple explanation of what these two were doing, witchcraft, basically, in this movie. Let's get into this story. Magical Monster. Doomsday Dead Chad Daybell thought Harry Potter magic was real and used spells before burying wife's murdered kids. This article doesn't get into what spells Mr. Daybell used. He would be considered a warlock. A warlock is a male witch. That's what I'm told. Or a wizard is a male witch. I don't know what spells he used. You don't need spells to kill somebody. He didn't use a spell to kill her. I mean, what did he do? He poisoned her? Did he poison her? Did he stab her? He didn't send no demon after her. He didn't conjure up a spirit to make her have an accident or something. So let's continue. Doomsday cult leader Chad Daybell bizarrely believed that the spells in the Harry Potter books were real and could be cast by those with a great focus will. I'm going to touch on Harry Potter later on in this video, probably very soon. So Mr. Daybell made these strange remarks in his spiritual manifesto, which he asserted that wizards, sorcerers, zombies were all real. I don't believe zombies are real. There's no evidence throughout history that zombies are real. There's no Walking Dead. A spirit can go into a human body if they allow themselves to be possessed. That's not a zombie, though. That's not a brain eating zombie. He believed zombies, wizards, and sorcerers were real and that he was a translated being who was immortal and capable of transportation. Right. Right. Immortality is not real, far as you staying in your human body for all eternity. You cannot transport as a human, of course. You guys know this. I don't have to touch on why you can't transport from one place to another. All right, you're not God, Jesus Christ, angels. Let's continue. Let's continue. Now, this touches on Harry Potter books. If you look back throughout a 10-year history, you will see multiple articles stating Harry Potter books are banned at this school, that school, this county, so on and so on. This is from 2019. Harry Potter books banned in U.S. school for having real curses, spells, which Harry Potter, in my opinion, I haven't looked up if those spells are real, but in my opinion, if I did research, I would find out those spells are real. Just about every story you see on TV comes with a bit of truth. No, you're not going to see someone flying around on a broom or going through a portal to a magic school. But these so-called spells, that's what's real. The so-called world of magic, Satanism, is what's real. Let's continue. So the decision to remove those books was mocked by social media. Because that was 2019. I had to finish up that part of the article. Oh, they mocked it. So the people who mocked Harry Potter books being removed are atheists, mostly atheists or some other type of faith. They believe in some other type of faith. Okay, because atheists, they don't take their time. They actually go research magic, witches, and wizards. They don't go take their time. They just don't. Let's continue. Let's get back on track. So Chad Daybell believed in magic. He believed he was Harry Potter. Now, this part of the article gets into Lori and Chad Daybell reportedly believed that the only way to rid a person of a dark spirit was to kill them so they can rest in the afterlife. Lori and Chad Daybell. Okay, Lori Daybell was somewhat of a Christian. Oh, she went to a Mormon church. Am I to believe? Is that correct? She was Mormon. She was a denomination of Christianity. She had to have read the Bible. In the Bible, it states nothing about killing a person to get rid of a dark spirit so they can rest in the afterlife. What Lori Vallow and Chad Daybell did had nothing to do with the Bible at all. It had nothing to do with LDS at all. All right, their faith with all this magic and energy work and drawing spirits out, sacrificing people. We're part of the 144,000. She believes she was a goddess, so on and so on. Has nothing to do with Christianity or any denomination of Christianity. So let's continue. She believed Mr. Vallow, her recent husband, her ex-husband, had been designated a zombie, or he was a zombie. Lori claimed Chad had conducted a reading on Charles and found that he had been possessed by an evil spirit named Nick Snyder. Nick Snyder. Let's continue. All right. He conducted, I don't know what type of reading. I don't know if he used tarot cards or he did a seance. I don't know what type of reading he did. Let's just continue. This ties into their mental capability to stand trial, the mental competence to stand trial. This is what this ties into. Bizarre manifesto. Now, I already stated he believed he was a translated being, which is not true. So, in his manifesto, Chad Daybell stated he believed he was a translated being, incapable of dying, and no longer needed to eat or sleep. But I bet Doughboy did eat and sleep. I'm pretty sure he ate and slept, unless he was hopped up on cocaine, speed, acid, what's that other drug? Any other drug? He had a bit on dope if he wasn't sleeping for months and months and months. Though they could be injured, Daybell wrote that translated beings such as he and Lori had accelerated healing powers, so no wounds would ever prove fatal, which is another cockamamie thing people in the New Age believe. Lori Vallow also worked with crystals. Crystal work is used for healing and witchcraft, among many other things. She used crystal work for her energy work. Their energy work in, I guess, detecting spirits or driving spirits out. Whatsoever Melanie Gibbs stated in her interview to detectives. Very bizarre. Very bizarre. I am Harry Potter, Mr. Daybell stated. So in text messages to Lori Vallow, Daybell stated he is Harry Potter and Lori Daybell is his goddess lover. And those text messages came in just 2 days after she killed her husband, Charles Vallow. Well, Alice Cox, Lori Daybell's brother, killed Charles Vallow. In one text, Daybell wrote to Lori, "Tonight I figured out who I feel like. I am a grown-up version of Harry Potter who has to live with the Dudleys in this little space under the stairs. Every few weeks, I get to escape and have amazing adventures with my goddess lover. But then I have to return to my place under the stairs, feeling trapped, but I sense permanent freedom is coming." Right. And Daybell is currently awaiting trial for the murders of Tali, JJ, and his former wife, Tammy. We're going to get into those murders very briefly. Very briefly, we're going to get into these murders. So, I believe these murders were sacrifices to their gods. This is not nothing new. These people were not Christian. I believe Lori described once talking to a higher being. Once she described talking to a higher being, I forget the name. I believe they do hear voices in their head. These voices are demons. These demons told them to sacrifice the kids if they wanted favor, if they wanted to have this, that, or the third. Of course, in this movie, in this story, that sacrifice of the kids amounted to nothing because they're in jail. They're in jail. And they're never getting out of jail because the evidence shows they killed these kids along with Lori Daybell's brother, Alice Cox. That's what investigators believe. Let's continue. JJ's body was discovered first. The young boy was autistic. He was found wrapped from head to toe in duct tape and stuffed in a garbage bag. Police believe Lori's brother killed JJ. Tali, meanwhile, was killed by Chad Daybell. This is what police believe. Police believe Chad Daybell shot Tali, dismembered her body, then put her through the fire, burnt her in the fire pit before her charred bones were disposed of in a shallow grave. Mr. Daybell told his ex-wife Tammy, when they were still married, there was a gunshot. I shot a raccoon. I shot a raccoon. That's what his excuse was. Prosecutors alleged for years. Prosecutors alleged that Daybell, who for years had worked on the office as a deer graver, had skills to help dispose. Anyway, now Mr. Daybell shot Tali, cut her body up, and burnt her body. If you go back, look in the Bible, you will see in ancient times, parents sacrificed their babies, their kids, to their gods. They will burn them, send them through the fire. They will burn them. That's what Chad Daybell's action reminds me of. It reminds me of a sacrifice. That is why I say they sacrificed these kids to a higher power that they had faith in, which this higher power is no God. It's more than likely a trickster in their head, giving them commands. Let's continue. It may show them some type of favor, but in the end, it had no real power. Let's continue. I'm not going to get too much into their faith or too much into any faith right now. This goes on to talk about damning tests. Now, the tests were about, of course, the raccoon and the bad smell in the backyard Tammy Daybell was suspicious about. It was also about Chad stating he shot a raccoon during the daytime. Now, the only reason I bring up the raccoon is because detectives were led to Chad Daybell's backyard by that evidence. What I mean by that evidence, let's get into it. Yeah, that goes on to state Tammy thought the smell was very suspicious. She got suspicious. This is before she died. Tammy on September 9th, shortly after Tali was killed, saying he had shot a raccoon on their property and burnt it in a fire pit. So Chad Daybell sent his wife Tammy a text message on September 9th saying he had shot a raccoon during the day and he burnt it in a fire pit. The test was a ruse to throw his wife off as to why it would smell when she came back home. He stated the raccoon is in their pet cemetery. Police realized something was amiss with the message months later when shifting through texts and cell phone records June 2020. Detective Ron Ball of Rexburg Police Department noted that raccoons are nocturnal, yet Daybell's text had been sent at 11:30 a.m. Raccoons are nocturnal only if they don't have rabies. So you could see a raccoon during the daytime, but more than likely it would be sick. So that would be why Chad Daybell shot his weapon. But we all know Chad Daybell can't use that excuse as a defense in court because the bodies of Tali and JJ were found on his property. Now, for a while, I thought the police were able to locate the kids' bodies because of a psychic. Was it Psychic Donna everybody was raving about? Some psychic told the police where to find the bodies. I thought I read that somewhere on YouTube. Turns out it was investigation work by police that led to the kids' bodies. The FBI cellular analysis survey team was then called to analyze the text and many others like it. And using data from cell phone pings, they were able to zero in on a burial site. So instead of unearthing remains of a raccoon, they found the charred body of 17-year-old Tali. Excuse the language. Excuse the language. I did not rehearse this before recording. I did not rehearse this before recording. So no psychic led the police to Tali's and JJ body. Police putting one-to-one together, the raccoon, the text messages, the fire pit, that's what led them to the kids' bodies, to Tali's body and JJ's body. no psychic. All right. Now, the couple is awaiting trial. Vallow is awaiting trial. However, she has been declared mentally incompetent by the state. Chad Daybell, there's no record of Chad Daybell being declared mentally unsound for trial. These two, in this movie, in this story, these two are mentally competent. They knew step by step what they were doing. They were given orders in their head by whatever spiritual being they believed in, whatever voodoo witchcraft that they dabbled in that caused them to hear these voices and believe what they believed. They knew everything they were doing step by step. They are mentally competent to stand trial and be found guilty. Just because Lori talks about doing energy work, her husband was a zombie, the kids had spirits in them. Just because they ran to Hawaii and slept and ate, because Chad Daybell claims he's a translated being, he doesn't have to sleep or eat. I'm pretty sure Doughboy ate and slept. That's the dumbest thing I ever heard in one of these news stories. I don't have to sleep and eat. Right, I'm pretty sure you ate. I'm pretty sure you slept, unless you was on drugs. So they're able to stand trial in a court of public opinion. Now, in a worldly court, where you have to be in front of a judge that has nothing to do with Christianity or the truth, they're not competent. Because you have a bunch of people who believe in lies, who believe in there's no real God, there's no Jesus. A bunch of people believe in there's no magic. A bunch of people who don't believe spirits can come into your body, give you thoughts, make you hear voices, and make you see things, make you psychotic. You have a bunch of people who don't believe in the truth. So that's called the justice system. So they are deemed mentally incompetent because the justice system doesn't work with the church. The justice system is separate from church. Church and state are separated. If church and state wasn't separated, these two would be declared competent and they would probably already be hung for their crimes. They will already probably be stoned to death for their crimes. All right, all right. If you didn't understand what I said, read the Bible, read a book, read some history. I don't know what to tell you. Okay. All right, one more thing. On camera, Lori Daybell is seen in her cell dancing around at night with deep music in her head. How do they know she's thinking about music? I guess because she's dancing, I guess. Deep music in her head, I guess. I guess. That's supposed to that is supposed to help her case that she's mentally incompetent because she's dancing around in her jail cell. Right, right, all right, whatever. Justice systems. Yay for the justice system. Yay for church and state being separate. Yay. You see what you get here. You see what you get here. Okay, will Lori Daybell is gonna do all her time in a mental hospital, a mental prison. Chad Daybell is gonna do all his time in a mental prison. They're gonna stand trial. They're going to a mental institution for the rest of their lives. That's all that's going to happen. All right. Anything else? This goes back to the Harry Potter books being banned in the U.S. for having real curses and real spells. Now, Reverend Dan Rahil, he turned to several exorcists to ask for advice. These exorcists, in short, told him the spells in the Harry Potter books are real. So that school that was mentioned in this article got rid of the books. Before the school year began, Reverend Diane Rahil turned to several exorcists for advice. Rahil, a pastor at St. Edward Catholic School in Nashville, Tennessee, was worried about the heretical lessons that students could learn from the Harry Potter books. He wrote in a Wednesday email to faculty members that was obtained by the news. At the advice of an exorcist he consulted, who shared his concerns, he purged the books from the school's library. These books present magic as both good and evil, which is not true, but in fact is a clever deception, he explained. The curses and spells used in these books are actual curses and spells, which when read by a human or being, they put themselves at risk of conjuring evil spirits into the presence of themselves. But it reads, which when read by a human being risks conjuring evil spirits into the presence of the person reading the text. Remind you of these two. So whatever these two got themselves into before they went on their murder spree, it caused evil spirits to enter their body, and they went on to do all that wicked stuff. Now, a Harry Potter meme. Let's first take a selfie. Hashtag going back to Hogwarts to destroy Voldemort. Right. Let's take a selfie. Chad Daybell told Lori Daybell. Let's take a selfie, Lori. Hashtag going back to the house to kill Lori kids, my wife, and Lori's husband. Hashtag murderers. Hashtag demonically possessed humans. All right. Anything else I want to add to this? There's nothing else. Excuse the language. Excuse the language. I know I fumbled and mumbled over my tongue. There was some tongue twisters in this video, but I'm pretty sure everyone could understand what I was saying. I'm pretty sure you all understood what I was saying. So do not leave me no comments talking about I do not know how to speak English. That's the only language I know is English. No, but really, you can leave whatever comments you want. If you want to comment about my speech, fine. I've seen the comments in the past about my speech, fine. Doesn't stop me from talking. Whatever. I talk too fast sometimes, so I stumble over my tongue, over my thoughts, over my words. All right, anything else, people? Anything else? No, not really. Thank you for tuning in to the broadcast. Yeah, this couple is insane. They're going to spend the rest of their life in a prison mental institution. All right, this is an awkward occurrence or awkward entertainment, and I will see you in the next video. They believe he was Harry Potter. Right, Harry Potter.